2 ภาษาเราไม่ต้องแปลตอนนี้
สวัสดีค่ะคุณมอนี่และคุณวันเดือนยินดีต้อนรับทุกท่านสู่สัปดาห์สิ่งแวดล้อมแม่น้ำโขงอาเซียนปีที่ 6 นะคะ Welcome to แม่โขงอาเซียน Environmental Week the 6th year หนูชื่อพัชริน ธรรมาพรนะคะชื่อเล่นชื่อเรสเป็น MC ของวันนี้ค่ะ My name is พัชริน ธรรมาพร My nickname is Race and I'm today's MC for the opening ceremony Before we start ขอโทษค่ะก่อนที่เราจะเริ่ม
จะเริ่มก่อนใช่ไหม
เรื่อง
จะเริ่ม
ที่มาที่
แม่
ไป
สมพรเมื่อวานตรงนี้นะ
ของงานแนวคือชื่อย่อของสัปดาห์แม่โขงนี้นะคะก็
พี่จิ๊บใช่ไหมคะ
แนวสัปดาห์สิ่งแวดล้อม
พี่จิ๊บใช่ไหมคะ
รุ่นแม่น้ำโขงอาเซียน
ชื่อนิดอ๋อนี่
เริ่มมาตั้งแต่ปี 2562 โดยเกิดจากกลุ่มองค์กรภาคประชาสังคมหลายกลุ่มสร้างพื้นที่สำหรับการ
แต่ถ้ามันยาวเราก็แลกเปลี่ยนใครเป็น Moderator แล้วพี่แปล Moderator เริ่มนะแล้วพอแม่สม
พูดไทยสลับอิงด้วยก็ได้ค่ะ
พอแม่สมปองพูดคุณก็พูด
ได้เพราะว่า
พี่พูดเรียงไปก่อน
ในภูมิภาคค่ะ โดยที่จะพูดถึงเรื่องสิทธิในทรัพยากรธรรมชาติและสิทธิมนุษยชนต่างๆเรื่องของ ASEAN Environmental Week or MAEW has been started since 2019. It has started from a collaboration from many civil society groups and it is an annual platform for Southeast Asian people along the Mekong River to exchange their perspective and foster closer collaboration. It is the place to tackle environmental issues that are caused by the climate crisis and regional development projects. เราได้เชิญชวนตัวแทนจากภาคประชาชนภาคประชาสังคมภาควิชาการและสื่อมวลชนในประเทศภูมิภาคแม่น้ำโขงเอเชียตะวันออกเฉียงใต้ด้วยค่ะเพื่อให้มาเป็นพันธมิตรกันทำงานร่วมกันด้วยความเชื่อที่ว่าการร่วมและร่วมมือทำงานด้วยกันคือการสนับสนุนความเข้มแข็งอย่างยั่งยืนเพื่อภูมิภาคของเรา
มีส่วนร่วมทั้งสองภาษา
We have invited representatives from the civil society, from the academic side, and from the press, from organizations in the Southeast Asian region, so we can collaborate and foster ties. We believe that by meeting and working together every year, we can create a stronger bond and create a better region. โดยที่ไฮไลท์ของงานในปีนี้นะคะจะมีเรื่องของสถานการณ์แม่น้ำโขงและทะเลสาบเขมรสถานการณ์การแย่งยึดที่ดินและปัญหาของเขตเศรษฐกิจพิเศษในภูมิภาคอธิปไตยทางอาหารการลงทุนข้ามพรมแดนเรื่องของผลกระทบจากโรคเรื้อนแล้วก็เรื่องของการแลกเปลี่ยนทางวัฒนธรรมค่ะThe highlights of this year's MAEW is the Mekong and Tonle Sap situation, land grabbing and special economic zones, food sovereignty, cross-border investment, the climate crisis, and the cultural exchange. โดยที่งานในปีนี้นะคะจะจัดทั้งหมด 4 วันตั้งแต่วันที่ 26 ถึง 29 กันยายน
แม่สมปองแปลเป็นอังกฤษ
โดยที่เมื่อวานวันที่ 26 กันยาได้จัดวงเสวนาออนไลน์เรื่องฉีกความคิดติดกรอบสู่ระบบไฟฟ้าที่เป็นธรรมและ Net Zero ค่ะ This year's MAEW will be held over 4 days from the 26th to the 29th of September. Yesterday we kicked off our event by having an online seminar about breaking Thailand's vicious cycle, enabling a just democratic energy transition. โดยที่วันนี้ในวันที่ 27 กันยายนนะคะเราก็จะมีพิธีเปิดแล้วก็มีวงเสวนาในตอนบ่ายค่ะ And in today we will have the opening ceremony and we will have some discussion groups in the morning and in the afternoon as well. And แล้วก็ต่อไปนี้จะทวนเรื่องโลจิสติกอีกครั้งหนึ่งเผื่อใครไม่ได้อยู่ในห้องเมื่อกี้ค่ะ I'll repeat the logistic thing that I just talked about recently in case anyone wasn't here previously. เรามีหูฟังแปลภาษาไทยอังกฤษ80 ชุดนะคะก็ภาษาอังกฤษใช้ Channel 1 ภาษาไทยใช้ Channel 2 ค่ะหลังจากเสร็จงานแล้วก็รบกวนคืนด้วยค่ะ We have 80 translator sets from Thai to English. Our lovely translators are on this side. And for English, use Channel 1 and for Thai, use Channel 2. แล้วก็เดี๋ยวจะขอทดสอบโด หูฟังนิดนึงนะคะ We'll do a quick test of the translator set so I'll let the translators try out for a second
ภาษาอังกฤษก่อนใช่ไหมคะ โอเคค่ะ This is an English channel if you can hear me please raise your hand thank you can you okay this is an English channel if you can hear me please raise your hand English channel
เนาะ
ได้ยินไหมคะ English channel hello
ช่วย
hello
หน่อยมีคนไม่ได้ยิน
English channel is number 1
number one
Check if your dial
ได้ยินไหมคะ
is number 1 as well
if you can hear me please raise your hand ได้ยินอยู่นะคะแต่ว่าอาจจะไม่เยอะ
If anyone has issues please raise your hand
ถ้าใช้ภาษาอังกฤษ if you want to listen to English and if you can't hear
I'll call the staff
แต่สองคนสลับกันเลย สลับกันสองคน
ใช่ค่ะใช่
พยายามพูดใช้ใกล้ๆไม้นี้ด้วย
อ๋อโอเคได้ค่ะนี่เปิดแล้ว เหมือนยกมือแค่บางคนนะคะโอเคค่ะ Hello Hello can you hear me
โอเค
ได้ยินใช่ไหมคะ โอเคค่ะ
Okay so
ได้ยิน
does anyone still have issues for English Okay
อ๋อมีคนไม่ได้ยิน
อยู่
บอกว่าให้ลองไป Channel 1 นะคะ
Channel 2คือ
No
ภาษาไทย
no
ใช่ไหม
So please check that your dial is turned to channel 1 the dial is on top of the machine it's a small dial
ใช่ต้องกดหมายเลข 1โอเคค่ะ เดี๋ยว
พูด
จะ
ไปเรื่
รอ
อย
อี
ๆพู
ก
ดไปเรื่อยๆ English
test 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 ได้ยินใช่ไหมคะ
Channel 1 isn't
Channel 1
working.
is for English
If channel 1 is not working please try dialing to channel 2
Huh?
people who still have issues but if it works you'll have to change
No no you can't
Channel 2 is gonna be
Channel 2
Thai
is Thai
ใช่ค่ะ Channel 2ก็ได้
So for now let's check เดี๋ยวตอนนี้ขอทดสอบภาษาไทย
โอเค ภาษาไทยนะคะนี่ช่อง 2 ภาษาไทยค่ะ ช่อง 2 ภาษาไทยเคยได้ยินยกมือด้วยค่ะ ช่อง 2 ภาษาไทย
ช่วยยกมือด้วยค่ะของ channel
ช่อง 2 ภาษาไทยค่ะ
ภาษาไทย
ไม่ได้ยิน
ไม่ได้ยินเหรอ
ไม่มีใครได้ยิน
ไม่ได้ยิน
เปิดแล้วด้วย เปิดแล้ว ช่อง 2 ค่ะ ช่อง 2 ภาษาไทยนะคะ ช่อง 2 ทดสอบกรุณาโทรกลับไปที่ช่อง 2 ภาษาไทยแม่สมปองมีเปล่าคะไม่ออกเลยค่ะช่อง 2 ทดสอบช่อง 2 ภาษาไทยค่ะ ช่อง 2 ภาษาไทย
ใครที่มีปัญหากรุณายกมือด้วยนะคะเดี๋ยว
ฮัลโหล
ช่อง 2 ภาษาไทย ช่อง 2 ภาษาไทย ได้ยินแล้วนะคะ
If anyone has
มีบางคนได้ยิน บางคนไม่ได้ยิน ใครยังไม่ได้ยินยกมือขึ้นค่ะ
and also if there's some issues please check if the
ทดสอบ
machine is
ทดสอบ
turned on
ช่องภาษาไทย
if the
ช่องภาษาไทย
headphone jack
ช่องภาษาไทย
is securely in the headphone
ทดสอบช่องภาษาไทย
ค่ะแล้วก็
ทดสอบช่องภาษาไทย 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 ช่องภาษาไทย 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 ทดสอบ1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 ช่องภาษาไทย ช่องภาษาไทย โอเค ช่องภาษาไทย ช่องภาษาไทย นี่ภาษาไทย
ภาษาอังกฤษ
ลองไป
ภาษาอังกฤษหน่อย
เปิดหนึ่ง
test
นะ
test English channel can you hear me โอเค
if there's anyone who still has issues we'll send the staff but I'll start for now because I'll be more of a English ค่ะ
ปิดไว้
ก็
ก่อน
ต่อมาเรื่องโลจิสติกนะคะก็อีกครั้งว่าวันนี้เราไม่มีพักเบรกนะคะ แต่ว่าเรามีของว่างวางอยู่ด้านนอกค่ะมีขนมปังมีน้ำเราสามารถกินในห้องได้เลยหากใครยังไม่ได้รับก็สามารถไปรับได้ตอนออกไปข้างนอกค่ะ so we don't have a break time for this morning session but we have break provided outside we have bread we have bottled water so if anyone still hasn't received their break you can get it outside later on the left hand side แล้วก็เรื่องของอาหารกลางวันนะคะ เ เราจะมีคูปองแจกให้ตอนลงทะเบียนก็หากใครยังไม่ได้สามารถรับที่โต๊ะลงทะเบียนเหมือนเดิมเลยค่ะแล้วก็เราจะไปกินข้าวกล่องกันที่ Creative Space ทางร้านกาแฟด้านล่างค่ะ and for lunch we have coupons for you that you may have received during the registration and after if you still haven't gotten the coupon you can get it at the table and we'll be having lunch together at the Creative Space down in front of
อ้าวหาย ไม่หาย
So let's move on to the แล้วต่อไปนะคะขอเข้าสู่ช่วงของการแสดงของเราค่ะก็วงแรกที่เราจะขอแนะนำนะคะก็คือวงกู่แคนค่ะซึ่งเป็นเพลงหมอลำจากภาคอีสานที่ทำมาสำหรับงานแมวเราโดยเฉพาะเลยค่ะซึ่งเราทำเพลงนี้
เขาจะไปเต้นตรงไหนนะ
2 ปีแล้ว
เขาจะไปเต้นตรงไหนโลเกะกะเขา
วิดีโอเราก็คิดว่าเนื้อ
เอาอยู่
หา
ใน
เพ
วิ
ล
ดีโอ
งนะคะยังเหมาะสมยังสามารถใช้ได้กับสถานการณ์ปัจจุบันเราก็เลยอยากนำมาแสดงในวันนี้ค่ะโดยที่เนื่องจากเพลงนี้ไม่มีซับไตเติ้ลนะคะก็เดี๋ยวจะสรุปเนื้อหาคร่าวๆให้ก็คือเพลงนี้จะพูดถึงการเดินทางของแม่น้ำโขงแล้วก็ความสัมพันธ์ของคนลุ่มน้ำโขงค่ะโดยหวังว่าเราจะสมัครสมานสามัคคีกัน So the first song that will be showing on YouTube is by a Thai Hmawlam band named Wunkeo. The song is specifically made for our event MAEW. Although it has been made 2 years ago, we still think that not a lot of people, not everyone here may have listened to it. And the theme of the song is still applicable to our situation. So I want to show you the song again. And because we don't have subtitles for the song, the short summary of the song is that the song talks about the journey of the Mekong River and the relationships between the people along the river. And they hope that the song will bring the people closer together. So let's listen to the song.
แนมเมืองฟ้าสัตบันผู้ผาความวิจิตรแห่งทาลามาอะไรสุภาพอื่นมาวาลีกำเนิดขึ้นให้พื้นดินได้ซุ่มซ้ำพร้อมกับอารยธรรมที่งดงามเลยผ่านงามที่สรรสร้างวิถีคนบนพื้นฐานความเคารพก่อกำเนิดประเพณีที่เสริมย่องสรรพสิ่งและผู้คนพลายพื้นธรรมชาติสร้างขึ้นคนจังอาศัยต่อก่อกำเนิดเป็นเมืองหลากวิถีเปิดบ้านเป็นอาเซียนหมู่เฮาหลายภาษาจ๋าเว้าเฮาเคารพความเป็นคนเคารพสิทธิเสรีเคารพความเสมอภาคคนหมู่มากได้ประโยชน์เพียงซ้ำบ่มีไผเหลื่อมล้ำที่วิไลไปหน้าเมืองบ้านหึงเจริญเว้าไปหลายมันสิซ่าคำเงินบ่ทันการเวลาสิพาเด้อสิพาลองแง่ขวงมาตลาดช้างเจียงเมืองจีนเอิ้นแม่น้ำคงเฮาว่าไหลมาจากที่เบียดเป็นสายน้ำแม่นาทีไปแต่พี่แดนมังกรเมืองจีนจากเจ็ดแผ่นดินใหญ่กะลองเฮาไปเมียนมาน้ำเบืองฟ้าแหนมเบืองสองปากน้ำไผพานาป่างามภูเขาละ2ปากฝั่งภูเขาติวตั้งแดนดาวป่าดงหลายห้อยโคงกะเข้าขีดแผ่นดินลาวทั้งเหล่าเขาทั้งเบียร์ลำแค้นสนุกฟอนจอดเฮือนอนต่างแวะยามกินข้าวเมาบ่ทวง3 มื้อกินเหล้าเบียร์จนลาลอยก่อนสั่งลากระทืนเบิดขวดน้อยแถมก่อยสุ่มบักนาวมีแห้งยาวจางแม่นมันโสภาเย็นท่าละแม่ของมีจะป่องเป่าแค้นหลงเพิ่นเจริญใจก่อนสิฮอดไทยจุดแม่น้ำ3 ชาติมองประวัติศาสตร์3 เหลี่ยมทองคำลงไปน้ำจากเหนือฮอดอีสานผ่านเมืองบานผ่านวัดผ่านว่าจอดเทียบท่าไหวพระธาตุพนมจังลงเฮือกินลมเดือละชมอยู่ต่อเอาเด้อพอสุดเก็บแต่กะลองเขาจำปาสักบ้านเก่าเด้อละแม่นปากสีจากผู้อุตสาเล่าภาษาเก่าวัดภูสีออกจากนี้ก็เข้าแคมโบเดียเขตเมืองความลองไปตามแนวโค้งออกทะเลจีนใต้ มองสุดท้ายก่อนแม่คงสิลงเอาสิได้ร้องเฮือเจ้าเข้าประเทศเวียดนามสุดมหาสายน้ำนาทีกวงแม่คงลงเฮือแล้วก็ขึ้นเบิ่งทั้งเวหาแนมเบิ่งผืนปัสสุธาเจิดเบิ่งทั้งฟ้าผู้ผาป่าใบแนมไปบืนตามทั้งพื้นดินผืนงามถือกระทบเสียหายคนมากง่ายหูทอบ่ถึงการสันดานดิบของมนุษย์ที่เป็นความเลวร้ายที่ทำลายไม้มางผู้เขาดงป่าทั้งพื้นดินผืนฟ้าอากาศวิปริตโควิดหลายสายพันธุ์เชื่อบัวยาพิษวิกฤตคนอ่นละวนเบิดสู่เมืองผู้คนชาวโลกวันมหาวิปโยคหลายรูปแบบเกิดขึ้นใหม่ทั้งสารพิษทั้งคาร์บอนไดออกไซด์ผู้สิปลูกกกใหม่ดูแลโลกหอดบ่มีนักลงทุนซุมื้อนี้ก็แข่งกันทำกำไร วิถีคนค่อยเปลี่ยนไปค่อยห่างไกลธรรมชาติท่ามกลางเชื้อโรคประหลาดอากาศเป็นตายานอาหารมียาพิษคุณภาพชีวิตในสังคมที่เหลื่อมล้ำบ่ให้ทุกได้จังใดคันอาเซียนออกแบบใดอยากให้เป็นแดนทอเทียมความเป็นคนและศักดิ์ศรีทั้งการงานทั้งหลายใดคันอาเซียนเป็นประชาธิปไตยอย่างลึกซึ้งจริงแท้ความเป็นคนถือเทแค่บ่เอาเปรียบญาติแยงสิเพศใดบ่ได้แบ่งความเป็นคนต้องเทียมเท่าอาเซียนมีข่อยเจ้าหักแพงกันเด้อผู้คนชาวอาเซียน
ค่ะก็เพลงเราฟังเพลงดีๆไปแล้ว1เพลงนะคะ We have listened to one great song แล้วต่อไปเราจะขอเชิญนักร้องจากวง Messenger Band จากกัมพูชามาร้องเพลงสักประมาณ2เพลงค่ะ So the next part of the cultural performances will be inviting a singer from the band Messenger Band from Cambodia to sing 2 songsก็เดี๋ยวจะขอแนะนำเพลงก่อนนะคะว่าเพลงทั้ง2เพลงมีอะไรบ้างเพลงแรกนะคะชื่อคิดถึงบ้านเกิดค่ะก็เพลงจะร้องเพลงเกี่ยวกับผลกระทบของวิกฤตสภาวะข้าวปลูกไปทำงานในโรงงานคนที่ออกไปทำงานในโรงงานถูกกดขี่ถูกขูดรีดต่างๆก็คิดถึงบ้านค่ะเพลงนี้ก็จะพูดถึงเรื่องนั้นส่วนเพลงที่2ชื่อว่าเพลงการต่อสู้ค่ะจะเป็นเพลงเกี่ยวกับการเคลื่อนไหวของประชาชนเพื่อเรียกร้องสิทธิ์แล้วก็เรียกร้องสิทธิ์ต่างๆของตัวเองค่ะ so the 2 songs are called Missing the Homeland the first song is called Missing the Homeland and it's about the impact of the climate crisis on people's agricultural productivity and the people are forced to work in exploitative factories and as they move away from their hometown, they miss their livelihood and the community that they left behind. The second song is called The Struggle, and it's the song for the people movement. It's calling for people to join hands for their rights and empowerment. So ขอเชิญนักร้องออกมาเลยค่ะ Let's invite the singer.สวัสดีค่ะโอเคติดตามจอOkay. sorry ចែកលុយអត់ស្មើឲ្យគាត់បើកលឺជាងនឹងវិញទេបងឡើយការទេបងហល់ឡើយយកកុំព្យូទ័រខ្ញុំមកវិញហ្នឹងហើយអត់ដាក់វាអត់
not
យក
internet
កុំព្យូទ័រខ្ញុំមកវិញហ៎បងបានទេអ៊ីនធឺណិតយកកុំព្យូទ័រខ្ញុំនៅក្នុងកាបូបនៅក្នុងកាបូបខ្លាចជ្រៀងគាត់អត់ដោតឡូតទៅពេលចាប់ពីនេះតាជេកូក៏ដែរវាបងថាអត់ប្រើ
sorry Please clap your hand again. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Yes. It's okay.
phải thân trôi trong thầm miệt trái chụp chung vừa trái bán thôi một trong lũ rắc nhân anh liên nhàบทចម្រៀងទី2មានចំណងជើងថាតស៊ូហើយប្រសិនបើបងប្អូនចេះច្រៀងអាចជួយជាងទាំងអស់គ្នាណាជីវិតពួកយើងគឺការតស៊ូយើងខំប្រឹងធ្វើការរាល់ថ្ងៃនេះទុកគេងប្រវាញ់មិនសិទ្ធសេរីពួកយើងប្រុសស្រីឈឺចាំមកពួកយើងមករួមគ្នាតស៊ូមកពួកយើងមករួមកម្លាំងបំលំបាកយ៉ាងណាក៏យើងនៅតែប្រឆាំងកុំហឹងឆេះងំក្នុងចិត្តត្រូវពួកពីទូមានភ្នំស្មន់ណាជាក្រុមរួមគ្នានឹងការតស៊ូគ្រប់ពេលវេលាសាមគ្គីគ្នាមិនខានពីចាត់ថាចង្កឹងមួយបាច់កាត់មិនងាយបាក់ឡើយជ័យជំនះមិនដែលបានដោយងាយឡើយបងប្អូនអើយតស៊ូនៅទីណាមានការជីចន់ពួកយើងត្រូវក្រោកឡើងតបប្រឆាំងគ្រប់ពេលវេលាសាមគ្គីគ្នាមិនខានពីចាត់ថាចង្កឹងមួយបាច់កាច់មិនងាយបាំងឡើយជ័យជំនះមិនដែលបានដោយងាយឡើយបងប្អូនអើយតស៊ូ Thank you so much.
Điều khó vé laย้ายเวที
พูดนะคะช่วงนี้สามารถทานเบรกทานน้ำคุยกับเพื่อนๆได้ก่อนเลยนะคะ so we'll take some time to rearrange the stage for now you can enjoy the snacks we
provided and drink the water and talk with your friends but please don't leave the room ขอความกรุณายังไม่ออกไปไหนนะคะเดี๋ยวเราจะต่อกิจกรรมกันเลยขอบคุณค่ะต้องไปอีก
Make sure she's alive from this. ก็โอเคแล้วโอเคเลยผมจะไปน้องมาฝากมีหลายใบต้องมีน้องมาไม่เสร็จแล้วใช่ไหมใส่ตัวมาใส่แล้วเปิดโอเวส2 ตัวเปิดโอเวส2 ตัวในเครื่องเดียวกันได้ผมกันทำไมวะฝั่งนั้นเนี่ยจะรับงานตัดต่อมางาน 8,000 บาทจะตัดไปต้องมีมากมาเป็นมากเยอะเจ้าคือความหมายก็ต้องเป็นความหมายไปเขามาจากเดี๋ยวนี้เป็นไงบ้างบ่ายจุดต่อไปก็คือตอนบ่ายก็ต้องย้ายที่ไปห้องนี้วิ่งไม่ได้ทำไมเกมกินเนื้อสนุกกับน้ำกินไปแล้วพอดีความฝันยังไม่ออกโอ้ยอยากกินแต่เช้าก็อยากกินอยู่ยังไม่ได้กินเลยเช้าเนี่ยเพิ่งกินเนี่ยได้อะไรพี่ได้นนท์ได้เนยนนท์ได้อร่อยเป็นงานโปสเตอร์ดีไหมดี
ยไม่ดีก็ตัวตัดใช่ไหมอันนี้ไทยไทยสองสวัสดีทุกครั้งนะคะดิฉันชื่อเปรมฤดีดาวเรืองนะคะรู้สึกทุกคนรู้จักดิฉันชื่อเอี้ยงนะคะก็ขอต้อนรับทุกท่านอีกครั้งหนึ่งสำหรับสัปดาห์สิ่งแวดล้อมแม่ของอาเซียนเนี่ยซึ่งหรือแมวนะปีสำหรับปี 2024 ก็ทุกคนคงทราบนะตอนเช้านี่เราจะทำพิธีเปิดนะเพราะว่าเรามีเปิดด้วยดนตรีได้ไปแล้วนะคะแล้วก็ทุกคนคงรู้จักวง Messenger เนาะวงคนงานจากกัมพูชาแล้วก็ Messenger จะมาเข้าร่วมกับสัปดาห์สิ่งแวดล้อมของเราทุกปีเลยนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นก็ต้องขอบคุณแล้วก็ต้องบอกว่าเรามีคนอยู่ที่นี่ตั้ง100 กว่าคนนะคะแล้วส่วนใหญ่ก็มาไม่ใช่ว่าคือตั้งใจมาจริงๆนะเดินทางมาจากหลายประเทศมาเข้าร่วมกับเรา เพราะฉะนั้นก่อนที่จะเริ่มขอแนะนำตัวกันหน่อยนะคะมีใครเพื่อนมาจากประเทศใดกันบ้าง
Cambodia yes yeah so many no and what about Laos yes and this year we have a very good chance to listen from our Laos friend in some of the panel as well and then Thailand yes Myanmar yes and this year also very special we have friends from Vietnam as well yes many of the Vietnamese friends that's it from the Mekong country. What about Southeast Asia? Other Southeast Asia countries, apart from the 5 Mekong, the Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia. Do we have any friends from other countries of Southeast Asia? And what about international friends? Yes, international friends. Please raise your hand. I know we at least have, the friend from UK, from Brazil, from the Netherlands sitting here with us. Thank you so much. I think this year MAEW is pretty special. We plan to organize MAEW in Cambodia, and we did. Last month, end of last month, we have the activity in Siem Reap in Cambodia. We have the field trip, right, among the young people to see Tole Sap. And as you might see from our T-shirt here, is from Mekong, or from Tole Sap, from Mekong to Tole Sap. This is our theme for this year. And of course, the MAEW come to the year 6 already, and I think we are getting bigger, and many of the people get more familiar with MAEW and became the MAEW host, the co-organizer naturally, without any too much arrangement. So you see, we are going to have about 20 sessions in 3 days. 20 sessions in 3 days. I remember back to 2021, we have 22 sessions in 7 days, and people already said that it's too much. But this year we have 20 sessions in only 3 days, from 27 to 29. But if you include 26 and 30, it's going to be 23 sessions. So this is quite a lot, and I still hope you enjoy, and all of us here will separate ourselves to listen to all of the different sessions that happen at the same time. And I think you know that you can scan this postcard to get to see the full program of MAEW that we try to update, even though it's not going to be too updated, because it change all the time as well. All right, and so this morning, let's spend 1 hour and some time before lunchtime, to do our opening talk. This morning, I'm very proud to be able to invite some of our friends who I think going to be able to introduce you to the essential or the spirit of MAEW. Some of us are joining MAEW for many years. Some of us are just joined this year. But I think we have some of the common idea And I think all these friends, we have 5 people today, and I think these 5 friends of us going to tell what are the highlights of the environment issue in Mekong and Southeast Asia and also internationally. So may I invite the friends, 5 friends here, starting from แม่สมปองเวียงจันทร์ค่ะ Yeah, Mrs. สมปองเวียงจันทร์ แม่สมปอง we call her แม่สมปองนะ she's from อุบลราชธานี province and แม่สมปอง is a very famous activist, you know, she's a ทางนี้ก็ได้ค่ะแม่สมปองเดินทางกัน she's the one who keep fighting with the Pak Mun Dam in Northeastern Thailand and she is one of the what you call founder of Assembly of the Poor. I think many of you who monitor the situation in Thailand on hydropower dam and the struggle of the people in the past 3 decades who have heard the name of แม่สมปองค่ะ we have แม่สมปอง with us today and next can I invite Winnie Overbeek, you know, from Pak Mun we invite Winnie. Yeah, Winnie based in Brazil. Winnie is the coordinator of the World Rainforest movement, and he is our long-term friend, right? Working on the issues of the forest, the climate change together for many years. And this is the first time for Winnie to join us in MAEW as a person. And next, can I invite Mr. Mark Sithirit? Sithirit, please. Yeah. Sithirit originally is a director of the Fishery Action Coalition Team of FACT in Cambodia, and now Sithirit is the academic, pretty well known of his work on the Tole Sap. So he will be in charge of, more or less the part of Tole Sap. And then next, Janjira Ditcharoern, the representative of our young team, who was invited to MAEW, and she's going to talk in representing the young people. And finally, and not least, Professor Surichai Wunkeo here, our senior and very long-term supporter to our movement. Actually, today we're supposed to have also Mr. Douangprachanh Champaphonevilay from the Green Community Alliance from Lao PDR, but unfortunately, he has a, the illness, issues in the family, so he need to be there in Lao PDR. So we would not have him. Too bad. So this is our 5 friends, and with me myself, So, I think I'm going to. I'm sorry. The setting of the stage is a little bit strange. Just, I thought that we have a bit bigger stage, but I don't know. Okay, all right. I think the plan is that I'm going to have Ajahn Surichai talk as the last person after he listened to all of us to reflect. But let me start from แม่สมปองค่ะ Let แม่สมปอง give us some remarks about what she thinks it's important to her, and looking at all of us, trying to, who are in the movement around the region, what we should start to think about, what is the thing that the struggle of the people that we need to really, emphasize. Yeah.
ค่ะกับสวัสดีทุกท่านค่ะฉันสมปองเวียงจันทร์นะคะเป็นไทยบ้านคนหาปลาในลุ่มน้ำมูลจากชีวิตที่ดิฉันเป็นคนหาปลาในลุ่มน้ำจากลุ่มน้ำมูลสู่น้ำโขงก็ทำให้ดิฉันได้รู้จัก
Moon River and Mekong River. So I have been depending on the nature for a long time. Like the Mekong River is like my mother. And I have been very, very connected to the river in the year
Thai year 2533 the rapid was exploded and I didn't know that I wasn't informed and we weren't informed about that, so we were suspicious about with the government and we couldn't let this happen because that's where we depend on and we have our livelihood was connected to that. So with the rapid explosion we sacrificed, we occupy the area, all of us women. We try to negotiate with the government, and at that time media wasn't there and there was no news about that, so we struggle to try to negotiate with the government, and that's where we started. And I have been fighting for almost 40 years and I have learned a lot, and I could say that it's been worse and worse. It's been the crisis for us since our first day until today. The political instability, more dams and dams are built. The water takes from the upper mainstream to the Moon River. We try to stop the dam construction, but also with the dam construction in other countries, we cannot stop them. And in the upper mainstream, in Chiang Rai, we also work with people in Chiang Khong. We learn about the problems. And in the upper Mekong, they built the dam to block the river, and we have seen that affects people. And if the Pungoi Dam is constructed, it's been our concern. We try to fight about that. We try to use social media. We try to spread the news to the local people. And I'm very proud that, this year the gates of the dam is open. And this is good news for us. Not ever in my life. I have been fighting a lot. And I have seen that this is the great time for us. That we have hope. And if the Pungoi Dam is constructed, if we fight, if we can voice out our concern, but I know that Pungoi Dam is gonna cause a lot of problem for us, even though we open the gate. We will be able to fish, but if the Pungoi Dam is constructed in the Moon River, in the tributaries, that can cause effects in the livelihood of the people, and people can catch less and less fish. So in the near future, if the young people, I would like to tell the young people, younger generation, that now people are having a march, walking from Chiang Khong to my area, and I have been doing the spirit calling ceremony for them. But I want to tell the younger people that environment is very important. It's very important for people, for humans. If we depend on the environment, and if everything is destroyed, how can we live? So even though now I'm old, but I want to tell everyone that. So my goal is that every year the Pak Mun Dam gates have to be open.
With her energy, and we can learn from her. It has been more than 3 decades of the struggle, and people keep doing this. ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you very much ค่ะแม่สมปอง So because Mae Sompong start with the Pak Mun and Mekong, let me move to Sithirit then. Our, Tolesap person, please.
Can you repeat the question again? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, colleague, friend here. I'm glad to be back I'm glad to meet Professor Surichai, and my guru, I would say, together with Ajahn Chayan, my guru. Well respects and I think Tonle Sap is a important water body, and this is we could say a heart of the Mekong River basin. And during the wet season, the Tonle Sap absorb large volume of water from the Mekong rivers, and that could reduce the floods along the Mekong. Now we got so heavy flood in Thailand, in Laos also, and I think Tonle Sap used to play an important role in absorbing this flood and saving a lot of peoples. And in dry season, Tonle Sap release water back to the Mekong. It could contribute to the cleaning of the environment and also reduce the salt's intrusion into the Mekong Delta, and that create the environment productive for agriculture. And Tonle Sap has been an important space for humans and also for environment. And in Tonle Sap, you can see there's different type of human dimension. We have floating villages, village that float on borders, and also village that stand on water for 6 months and then 6 months on land. This is called water-based, land-based communities, and then a community that is on land. So this is a kind of human dimension created by the hydrological regime of the Mekong and Tonle Sap. But then nowadays, Tonle Sap has been under changing landscape, and this is to do with the changing river flows, the flows of the water from the Mekong rivers to Tonle Sap, and that has to do with 3 things. One is to do with the hydropower development in the upper Mekongs. Second thing, something to do with embankment of the Mekong deltas in Vietnam as well, also in Cambodia perhaps. And third thing to do with the climate change. I think the climate change, the hydropower dam, embankment of the Mekong rivers has undermined the flows of the Mekong to the Tonle Sap Lake. And that's recently you can see, the flood pulse of the Tonle Sap has been changed greatly, and it used to be overwhelmed with the waters during the wet season, but nowadays the volume of water in the wet season has been reduced significantly, and that affects the productivity of fishery, environment, also livelihoods. And I think I would say 3 things. The flows of the water from the Mekong to Tonle Sap has been reduced significantly, almost 50%, the flows of the water. The volume have been also reduced nearly 50%, and the inundation around the Tonle Sap Lake in the wet season has been almost 50% also, and these affect the productivities of fishery, and fishery has been declined significantly. And I would not say much, but then a lot, and many people, especially the community living on this type of community, 3 different type of community, have been changing their lifestyle. Land-based community is no longer doing, fishing. Fishing community, floating community, some of them are no longer doing fishing, they are migrating. So I would say 10 to 15% of the population have migrated to other employment, and that is a change happening. And Tonle Sap could no longer support, these people. So fish supposed to be abundant, but this day fish has been, has been reduced, and some of the community has been also transformed. It's not about resilience. It's not about adaptation. It's about transformation. And Tonle Sap is also under the transformation environment, and some community have been relocated upland, and that is and this is a situation that's happening, and so they see communities in Tonle Sap like agent destructing the environment, and now they would like to relocate them upland. So then this is they say the way to save the Tonle Sap, save the environment, and so on. So then some of them has been upland already, and that create a lot of difficulty for them as well. So I think life has been changing as well, and I don't know what the solution, what the the best way we can do to really help Tonle Sap and people and resource there, and it is still under the situation that we could not predict very much. But if the situation continue, I think in the long run, Tonle Sap will be in danger, I would say, and of course Tonle Sap is in the great transformation. It's not about anymore. You talk a lot about resilience, you talk about adaptation, but in Tonle Sap at the moment it's about transformation. We don't know what's happened next, but we know that if this situation continue, I think Tonle Sap will have less and less water, and the future will be, a disaster for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sithirit. The word transformation was mentioned by Sithirit since a very early time when we start talking about MAEW this year. Like it's no more resilient. Sithirit keep insist that. I mean, the life in Tonle Sap already been permanently changed, in his opinion. And both Sithirit and Mae Sompong will be in the small room this afternoon in here, the hall in front of this Student Christian Center, talking about the Mekong and Tonle Sap. So what they mentioned now is just a short, part of what they're going to talk more in this afternoon. Also linked to the Mekong Tonle Sap, I think I will pass to Janjira, who is she's a young person who already been through many, academic works, teaching, and also doing some research and observation on the Mekong. So Janjira, as the young person, what are you thinking about what you just heard, and also your own experience on environment issue? Please share with us.
ขออนุญาตนะคะสำหรับการลงพื้นที่นะคะที่ไทยแล้วก็ที่กัมพูชาเนี่ยนะคะอันนี้คือโจทย์ใหญ่ที่สำคัญที่กลับมาเช็คกับตัวเองก็คือโจทย์ที่เป็นความ It's like a dream of the young people that we will work to support the environment หรือการสำรวจลักษณะ from what I have worked with the younger people who joined the MAEW I have seen that they come from different fields of work. They are academics, they work in media. These young people, they have joined together and use their capability to fight for the environment work, to come up with a solution for the environmental issues, and I have been working with them for quite some time. And we have seen that for young people, they don't have a chance or they don't have space to communicate, to work together. I have seen that young people or everyone, maybe all of us, we work to support the environmental work, but we do not have space to connect us. We do not have space for people who have been working on this, and we don't have space for young people to connect. So how can we connect people in different generations to work together in order to solve the environmental problems? So another thing is, my dream is to manage the environment in both Thailand and Cambodia. They have the same problems, environmental problems. I come from Ubon Ratchathani. I have worked in different areas in Ubon Ratchathani, and I have seen the problem just like what Kun Sithirit and Mae Sompong have mentioned about the dam construction or the the natural resources crisis. If you come from Ubon, please raise your hand. And people who live in the Mekong area, people who do fishery, you might be able to tell that there are fewer and fewer fish in the Mekong River, and some fish species have disappeared. So personally, I think so we might have to get rid of the borders when it comes to working together with the younger people, with the older people. So let's say like the old generation. But we will have to work together. We will have to get rid of the obstacles that we have, to work together to find the solution for the Mekong related problems. So this is my experience from joining MAEW in the Cambodia and Thailand. So you can say the previous generation instead of calling us old people or the older generation. You can call us people in the previous generation. Thank you, Janjira, Ditcharoern, or Gomgap. She's very active and she's been doing a lot of things.
Okay, so
Winnie.
so we have enough time.
What he would like to say after listening to our three friends. So please, Winnie, welcome to MAEW.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Ian, for the invitation. I'm coming all the way from Brazil in Latin America. So maybe I can say a few words more than my great fellow speakers. But if it's too long, you just can cut it. No, I think that should be enough. Maybe I make some remarks on the issues you are discussing here, and maybe also some remarks on the struggles and the movement building you are also discussing here. Okay, now better? Oh, okay. So some remarks on the issues you are discussing, and some remarks on the struggles you will also discuss. I think about the issues from our perspective of an organization supporting struggles of forest-dependent peoples in Latin America, in Africa, and also in Asia. I think the issues you have chosen very much the same issues in the other continents, right? Very much the same issues, the dams, the land grabbing, the energy transition, the food sovereignty issue, very much the same issues. I find it important, or let's say I find it difficult not to say something about capitalism to understand why we are discussing these issues. Yeah. And my friends, economists that study capitalism, they say it is in crisis already for some decades, right? Since the 1970s. I always have my doubts if they are really in crisis, right? What I do know is that they always complain. You know? It seems they have a hard life and not the communities, right? That are suffering from all the extractivism, etc. So in the 1970s, just a few examples, they said, listen, our profits are too small. We cannot make enough money from extractivism, yeah, from producing goods that people should consume. So they invented financial capital, yeah, and they could continue profiting and speculating more. In the 1980s, 1990s, they complained a lot again that our government's making many laws that make our life difficult. Yeah. So what we need, and the government's also doing many activities like health and education that we can do much better. So the result was that they created what we call, don't know if you use it here, but neoliberalism. Yeah, it means in practice that more creation of more laws to help the business of the capitalists and less laws to protect the people, right? And also privatization happened. And going longer in time, then, by the end of the 1990s and especially 2008, we had these, they call it financial crisis. Yeah. So they complained again a lot that they lost a lot of money. Actually, they just speculated far too much. So we paid, we compensated them. And then the result was also they were looking for more secure investments. And they started to buy lots of land, to invest in land. It's something that I saw also on your agenda. It's called land grabbing. And it really took off. Now, in all this time, since the 1970s, we had another crisis that was real, not a capitalist crisis, but the environmental crisis, which is the issue of your event. And no surprise that the capitalists, they complained again a lot about this. And they complained a lot when our governments in the 1970s, 80s, they started to make environmental laws. They wanted to control the polluting activities. And of course, the companies didn't like that at all. So they created something they called sustainable development. Yeah, many of us use it too, but actually, I would say they created this. And the result of sustainable development, now we are already in 2024, I would say it's very much the same as before. The only difference is that now their timber is certified, it's green, we talk about green mining, but the expansion and taking over of territories of communities in all the continents has just gone on in the same way. And we had also the climate crisis, right? And of course, they complained because the most profitable activity of the capitalists is extracting oil, right? In the top 10 companies, multinational companies in the world, most of them are oil companies. So they didn't like at all to think about the solution. What would be the solution? Keep the oil in the soil, right? Stop extracting coal. And they didn't like it at all. So they said, listen, what about forest? What about forest? Because there's so much deforestation, such a big problem. And if you burn a forest, there's also carbon going to the air, and it's also contributing to climate change. So what about if we, instead of stopping our business extracting oil, we start to protect forests? They can do it for us. And we can pay for it. And they liked a lot that solution, right? They also didn't really like energy transition, exactly because they can make so much money from this oil business, the coal business. But they also know that it will deplete. It is ending, right? So they agreed to do an energy transition, but in our terms, with our conditions, do a transition in a way that we can control the process. So I'm telling all of this to a little bit to contextualize, I think, to why are the issues that are on the agenda? Why are we discussing this today? And the result is that I think, pretty much the same here. What I can bring from other places is, and I think my fellow speaker here already said, more pressure on the territory of the people. Yeah, more pressure from the extractive industry. Remind that now we are talking about energy transition, electric cars, right? I'm just back from Indonesia. And almost all the eastern side from Indonesia is all these smaller islands are being digged up for all the new minerals and metals that are needed for the batteries of these cars. But the car is not only a battery, it's still a car, right? So we still need the steel, we still need the aluminium, we still need all that business to build these cars. And the nickel will be gone in 15, 20 years. But it means more pressure. There is also the renewable energy. You are discussing a lot the hydro dams. I think there is a trend of expansion everywhere. And it also puts pressure on people's territories. I mean territory, I don't only talk about land, I'm talking about rivers, talking about the sea, yeah. We have now carbon schemes, carbon trading involving the sea, the blue, red, right? So this is all putting more pressure, but I also have the feeling people sometimes they get more confused, yeah? How to deal with all of this, because at least with the logging company that's going on so long, also here in Thailand, in the past, you can see the trucks with the timber going out. But one villager in the Amazon said, you know, I can see that, but if they do this carbon project here, I don't see any truck with carbon going out. I don't understand what is this carbon about. And they are talking about conservation and this and that. So things are getting more confusing. Huh? Now talking about the struggles then, I would like to make 3 remarks. I think things that might be relevant to share. I think the capitalists have become more powerful, right? Today we see all these billionaires worldwide. We see the companies making profits that are completely, we cannot imagine anything about that, the amounts. I was with an indigenous community in Sao Paulo that had gone through a huge crisis, and they stood up again. And they made a decision. What was the decision? We delete the word power from our vocabulary. They speak Guarani, they don't speak the national Portuguese language. And they said, this woman leader, she said, because power you cannot share with many people, right? Power tends to be controlled, centralized in few people. So what they talk about is strength. Because strengths we can share, strengths we can nurture. If we come together in a meeting like this, we can build strengths. And the result in the community was that they don't have anymore the chief that has the power, but they have a leadership that shares the strengths, right? And in this leadership, there are women participating. In this leadership, there are also youth participating. It opens up a new space. And this is a reflection that always I take with me in my luggage and share, because I think it's important to think how we organize, right? There's a second reflection I would like to share, and it's about our perspective, because we are discussing issues like energy transition. We are discussing issues like dam building. The decisions to do all these kind of things are taken at the international level, right? Many conferences are ongoing of the capitalists, and sometimes we get invitation to go because they open space for civil society. But I want to share a Mexican saying. And first I should explain, they talk about the milpa. Milpa is something like a place where a community makes a field, often with corn, because corn in Mexico is very important food, basic food. So it's a place they can plant corn and plant other crops they need in the community for the flourishing of the community. And they have a saying, they say, from the milpa we can see the world. And even more than that, from the milpa we can understand the world. And the point I want to make is that I believe that from the top, from the international level, from the global level, from all these international spaces where, I mean, many capitalists, many academics, many international organizations, our governments are participating, and they decide what will happen at the local level because they think they understand what's happening there. They understand what are the needs of the people. They understand what must be done. The capitalists have a lot of influence at that level. But sometimes we organize our conversations a little bit according to this, right? We also go to conferences and we also follow a little bit their agenda. The point I want to make is perspective is very important, I think. And if you think it's not that these issues are not important, they are extremely important because land grabbing is taking land of people, dams are destroying rivers, diminishing the stream of rivers. But if we discuss this from the Milpa perspective, we get a very different discussion. We are discussing about life, about survival, about diversity, about community. We can strengthen our struggle. So I think this is an important reflection. What is our perspective? Also, when we are here together to discuss these issues, from where should we stand? And it has a lot of implications that we can discuss more, but I just wanted to leave this reflection. And the last point, and I already going to stop, Ian, is about one other thing that I thought to share. I listened to a presentation of a specialist from the United States who is making maps to monitor territories in the global south for carbon projects, forest carbon projects. And this was a video he puts online to share this interesting work he is doing, to look how deforestation might be reducing because now we are controlling the things in the territory. And many of these projects are in community territories, right? These carbon projects that should stop deforestation, actually, they are not stopping deforestation because the big companies who are doing that, they make much more money with their business. They're not interested in carbon trading. So many of these projects in communities, and there was one sentence he said I would like to share because I think it says a lot. He said, there's one problem, in the work I'm doing to monitor, to control. It's much about control. Nowadays, we are so much controlled with the digital things. Even all your mobile phones here is an instrument to control you, to control us, etc. But he said, there's one thing in my work that's really difficult, and that is about the people. Because the people are, he said, unpredictable. We don't know what the people are going to do. I can see what they do today, but I don't know what they are going to do tomorrow. So let me tell you that if there is one seed of corn from the milpa left, there is a possibility to rebuild the milpa, right? Many communities today we see in crisis, and still we see them standing up when, for example, the women, many communities, the women stand up and say, now we need to change. We need to not to follow their direction, but we go in the opposite direction. So I think it's important to realize our strengths, our behavior of being unpredictable. We cannot be. They want to control everything, but we cannot be controlled at the end of the day. We have our own minds, and we can come together in meetings like this to try to change the things. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Winnie. Yes, I think, yeah, thank you for ending your talk with some of the words of hopes, right? I mean, what Winnie just said about the maybe if even the last corn seed left, right? We still have hope, right? It can regain. It remind me of our word of our friend Ian Bear, no, that just talked to us that don't underestimate the river. He said, even it's being blocked or the dam is there, but if you have a chance to open it, if even you have the very small group of fish, it will come back. The Mekong fish will come back. And I think that's very rare, that we will heard this kind of word, from the struggle that we are in, which is, I mean, in the big picture, look like a very hopeless one. But I think I agree totally with Winnie that we have to keep our hope because it's still there. All right. And finally, I remember in the very first mail, we have Ajahn Surichai with us back to 6 years ago. And today, I'm very proud to be able to have him here because Ajahn Surichai is not a very easy person to invite because he's very busy. So thank you so much, Ajahn. And can we have your words, please? Yeah.
Thank you, Kun Ieng. The world is being more difficult. It's more difficult to live. But listening to your words and starting from Mae Sompong, how can we become despair? And that's the reason why I joined MEL. It's more difficult. And it means that we have to engage and really be frank to each other, to one another, and also go beyond the borders. I am happy because the border of age. Aging. Yeah. When you are aged, sometimes you feel you are, some people, I mean, but the point is that as long as we have life, we will fight. And that is the song, second song, ต่อสู้ that we listened before we started our program. I was happy to learn the same word in Thai language, Cambodian language, ต่อสู้ So that's the border of Cambodian Thai, but the language we use the same. Even the first song, you also have the word about บ้านเกิด 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 is home, missing home. นึกสรก บ้านเกิด นึกถึงบ้านเกิด คล้ายๆอย่างนั้น So I am just trying to understand the language we are using so that we are, so that's the first reason why and I am so happy to see all of you. My second point, you see, I think this relates to what Winnie said about money. Financial capitalism. The Thai government, this new cabinet came into power, promising digital whatever, digital wallet, whatever, all this money is business, and it make some people think they are very hopeful. But you see, this money, may I say that Mae Sompong once criticized by one Prime Minister of Thailand when she was struggled. And the Prime Minister said, "Oh, your last name is not Thai." Her last name is Viengchan. I still remember that. And it's so funny How could a person become Thai Prime Minister, don't understand their own roots? You see, that is how our politics represent the kind of very shallow, very unconnected, disconnected from the people. And what I said now is related to once people talk about poor, poverty in Thailand, and someone asked แม่สมปองขอโทษผมพูดภาษาอังกฤษไป ขอโทษผมพูดแล้วแม่สมปองตอนแม่สมปองบอกว่าพูดเรื่องคนจนพูดถึงคนจนนะแม่สมปองบอกว่าพวกเราไม่จนหรอก
about the poor, and Mesopong said that we're not poor. We have the river, we have friends, we have family. And I remember this. So when I came here, I feel that friendships among us here is very important. It's even more important than money, because when people said that they could give you money, right? But we can, if we have money, but everything in the world is going to collapse. And all these disasters are already giving us warnings. So when it happens, you cannot find anything. You can't. We have to. It's very disruptive. And COVID-19 also was a great warning to us. And so many things came back to normal because we were forced to stop. We were basically forced to stop, by this pandemic that never happened in our lifetime. So so my second topic issue is that the poverty is not about money. Money is something that is invented. It's interesting talking about digital money, but in the end, life is the most important. Food from nature and friends and family is the most important. If we don't have these other factors, life will not be meaningful. So these are our basic ideas. So it's basically, I just want to start dialogue with you too. So when we talk about border, or boundary raised by this young friend, because human beings always trying to determine the borders or boundaries. You have to ask where you're from, and if you're a student, where's your school. When I was young in a village, and I go to the movie and always look at the other in the audience and say that, thinking where they're from, which village they are from. So basically, we're always not thinking of boundaries or borders, something that divides people. But if it actually can help us have the strength to solve the problem, that will be good. But if setting boundaries, thinking of Winnie's language, if we set the borders and then we can't do anything because it's beyond our boundary, right? And then that is no good, because when Sompong also mentioned the Wunkeo Dam, and when they went to court, the court says that Thailand does not have sovereignty over other people's land where the dam is being built. So that means we don't have way of trying to solve the problem that's happening in our neighboring country? Does it setting boundaries? Is it basically stripping us of our power or our ability to do things to solve the problems? When they said that that dam is in another country. So I think when we talk about borders, boundaries, I think we have to think about how we can actually trying to overcome these boundaries. And we cannot stop and just say that well, then if it's beyond our boundary, then we can't do anything. And on this issue, I just like to say that for people who struggled for so long, like Sompong or Premrudee, also who a lot of people in this room know, these people are the ones who made the Thai government as well as the ASEAN governments stop to think, and they made China accept that there are problems that need to be solved. I just want to mention Premrudee, teacher Tee, who's a teacher in Chiang Rai province, and when they were bombing or they exploding the rapids in the Mekong River, when China was trying to open the channel for navigation on the Mekong River, and China basically just dropped, destroyed the rapids on the Mekong River, which is an international river, but which is actually on Mekong is under the Mekong River Commission being managed. But the MRC actually could not decide, could not really enforce the joint responsibility over the Mekong. So in the end, they had to allow any country decide by themselves what to do with the Mekong that is in their their boundaries. And so the MRC mechanism or the ASEAN mechanisms seems to have no meat at all. You can see that. You can see how much fish has been destroyed, reduced in the river, in the Tonle Sap. You can see it fish disappearing, but nothing can be done. So if this type of borders that actually constrain people from trying to solve the problems that they can see right in front of them is something that needs to be targeted. Something needs to be done about this, but I don't know what to do. But I know that we can do it. It will be good because I believe that the most important is the borders that we have in our heart. Do we feel for other people who are just living across the river in the Tonle Sap? Teacher Tee, at that time, he campaigned collecting signatures from Cambodia and from Laos PDR in several countries, but he did not send the signatures to the government, any government directly, but he just disseminated to all the media. And in fact, it actually raised, China became concerned and it was the first time when China was forced or pressured to share the information about the dams that were being built above in China. So he was the ones who actually raised this solidarity among the lower Mekong countries, communities, that they are to try to address their common problems, common sufferings. So if we feel the common sufferings, that is already a start. And it should be something that could be the strength that could get us to go further in exchanging our ideas and strategies. The last issue I want to mention is that it's about the United Nations just had we know that the UN can't do much. When look at Gaza, just voting about you can vote for against Israel. That only happened after 40,000 people died. Countries got to vote, and but the big issue is that the US was abstaining. And so I'm saying this because the UN is basically like the same kind of mechanism as ASEAN. They are stuck under the state sovereignty overpowering. So whenever there's a meeting, when decisions are needed, there are also vetoes from the 6 or 7 countries. I mentioned the UN because Winnie said something that made me think. We are in a capitalist world, including China. It's not socialism, it's basically a state capitalism, which is the biggest one. And in the capitalist world, there are also the contests. Like in the election in the US, none of the parties can say that they're going to cooperate with China. So China is basically the pariah. But there are gaps between government and the people, and many governments are very far, away from their people. So the UN is facing a situation where they have to deal with so many global issues, and it seems they're hopeless. Because after COVID-19, a lot of people became poorer, the middle class as well. But the social media groups, these large corporates, became richer, much richer. And this is happening in Thailand as well. You can see that large corporations in Thailand also have influence in politics. And what I just want to emphasize what Winnie said about the about international kind of a joint committee. But of course, the people at the UN also have responsibility. If they cannot actually try to identify ways to actually solve problems that is better than before, then maybe they shouldn't be there. So So the issues of the future is going to have to be fought in the realm of knowledge. It's a new battleground where universities cannot help. I've been university professors for this long, so I can say this. And I saw the book on EEC, and I would say that the knowledge where like Sompong's knowledge. She said what she wants is to see that the dams are open permanently. And people think this is funny, right? In the academic world, they said that's crazy. But it has happened in some countries. Large dams have been opened, destroyed, removed before. And so in my sense is that the knowledge produced in university campuses is something, but what the Sompong is saying that is that, and what Winnie has said, that is the language and the knowledge used for decision making at the UN level. Is it something that is relevant to us, or is it something that we really need to actually address? And we for the younger generation, definitely we need to get younger people involved. So you say if you're studying in universities, I mean, actually we can be active in universities, okay. And another issue is on the internal security. I think the freedom of the academic freedom is being limited right now under the internal security command. So, but for me, academic freedom means having responsibility for all the problems that people are facing in the world. We know that the sea is being the battleground now, but what are neglected is that there are people who have to struggle in their areas. They have to suffer a lot. Some of them are killed. So how are we going to have? How can we work together using the knowledge, our knowledge? And then not relying on the knowledge that is produced in the capitalist world, and where disasters are becoming common all the time. So if we discuss this kind of knowledge that we have from the local level, we can also add other ASEAN countries, and maybe across the continent to Brazil. I believe that the formal international organizations like the UN and ASEAN needs to be reformed, because they have to become more responsible. They have to be responsible for finding solutions, because right with climate change, the future of the younger generations have already been stolen. And so sovereignty has to be redefined, and we're talking about food sovereignty and sovereignty of the river or of the fish. And thank you.
ก็อาจารย์ได้กล่าวถึงเรื่องนี้ใช่ไหมคะ
Professor mentioned Mao and mentioned what we have been doing. So I was so excited. So there are things that I want to add. So what we have been doing, what the younger generations been doing. So I like to summarize what we have learned. So I feel that we have enhanced our capabilities for the 12 younger people from all over the regions in Thailand who come together to work to fight for the environment. And MAEW is the space where we are not judged whether what we are doing is right or wrong. So we have learned a lot of things. We learn how to do the exhibition. We do board game. We learn about how to make short films. We learn new topics, new issues about, for example, the cross-border problems. So we have faced a lot of issues. For example, the disaster that is happening now in Thailand, in Vietnam, there are cross-border problems. And what the MAEW has been doing is they are trying to show us to see the problems. MAEW give us opportunity to create work. We younger people, we have lots of dreams to fight for the environment, but we don't have a budget. We are expected from our family, from the society, and we have received support from MAEW. Maybe it's not a lot, but it's something that push us to work. And we have our work in the exhibition at the BAC, so you can see our work later at the exhibition. The second thing is that what I have learned from Siem Reap, from the study in Siem Reap, field study in Siem Reap, and I have learned the information. I have received the information from Kun Surichai. We visited the floating village, the semi-floating village that is on the land for 6 months and on the water for 6 months, and I learned about the ecology of the Tolesa lake. And I took pictures, and you can see my pictures at this exhibition. In terms of the issues of the cross-border problems between the Thailand and Cambodia, I would like to talk about both the positive issues and the negative issues. I have seen a lot of the right violation in Thailand and Cambodia. For example, with the vulnerable groups, for example, like us, like me and Mae Sompong, we are powerless people. And we have been taken advantage on the more powerful people. Another main point that sectors that do things that I think people who can make changes in the environment is people in different sectors. They just have their own goals. They do different things. And why don't we just like destroy the borders and then work together? We can create cooperation. That we all can work together. And the last point that I would like to mention is for the positive effect positive impact that I have learned from MAEW is that how people struggle in how people fight in Cambodia and in Thailand, especially in Cambodia. They are very active. They are oppressed. They have to be under the power of the government.
งานเหมียวเนี่ยนะคะ
And I
เป็น
can
ตัวอ
say
ย่าง
that
ลักษณะของ
Mel
การเชื่อมโยงเครือข่าย NGO ในการ
is
หาด้าน
bringing
สิ่งแวดล้อม
NGOs
นะคะ
together.
เชื่อมโยงคนรุ่นใหม่ให้เข้ามาทำ
They
ด้วยกัน
connect younger
และ
people
ประเด็นสุดท้าย
to work
เราได้
together.
เห็น
And
บท
the
บาท
last
ของผู้
issue
หญิง
is that I have
ผู้นำชุมชน
seen the roles of women, NGOs
เพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยทั้งหมดประสบการณ์ที่ได้
working
เรียนรู้จาก
together.
แล้วก็ขอ
And this is all what I have learned from Mel. And I'd like to thank Ian and Boom and Bike and the Mel team, working team, who create space for us to learn together, to find a solution to everyone. You know, for the younger people and for the people in the previous generation, because the impacts of the environment, the disaster can happen to everyone. The effects of this can happen to everyone. So we should create space like this, like Mel, so that we all can work together. That's all I want to say. ขอบคุณก๊อบแก๊บค่ะเอ้ย
Giving lots of credit to Mel. So much.
ขอบคุณคุณก๊อบแก๊บนะคะที่ช่วยโฆษณานะคะนิทรรศ
Visit the exhibition. Actually, I was thinking that we have to hear a little bit from our friends here. I thought we would have about half an hour to talk together, but now it's became 15 minutes. No, so if I looking at the thematic of what we are going to have in the coming 3 days, I think one of the representative from the theme that not appear here is the thematic of the food sovereignty. Actually this issue of seed agriculture, food sovereignty is quite a big issue in Mao this year. We are going to have both like workshop and also the panel discussion. So can I invite somebody who can talk a little bit about this food seed issue just to share with us, because I think this might be the only chance that we are together like this, no? After this, we will split into different rooms. So can I hear from Gabe? Would you like to share something with us? Just to advertise the seed issues and food sovereignty, please. ขอให้ใครช่วยวิ่งไมค์หน่อยค่ะค่ะก็
Oh, thank you, Ian. So this is the first time I think that I'm joining Mel as a co-organizer. Try to to feed in the issues of food, because before we're talking about river, we're talking about forest, land grabbing, a lot of things. But I think the thing that connect us together, not only river, water or forest, but thing that connect us is food, actually. So this time we are going to organize a proper discussion on food issue, which is mainly on seeds and agriculture. So this afternoon, there will be a discussion on the issues of control, linking to what we said, what the panelists had said before, that everything that we connected, not only natural resources, but also disaster connect us. And the thing that is behind all this is the corporate. And in case of food, is agribusiness, is also the big corporations also that control. And maybe the same corporation also control oil, control petrol, the same corporations. So we will discuss about the corporate control over seeds through the organization called UPOF and all other legislation in each country in the afternoon today. And tomorrow will be full day workshops. Start from the morning, we will discuss exchange among young farmers, talking about seeds and food and where it's come from and how we produce it. And then in the afternoon, there will be discussion a little bit more on the legals in each country and update what we think about how importance of the law to help farmers or really help. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I understand that the workshop, the seed workshop, already have quite a numbers of people registered, no? And I think, I think they're trying to cook, but maybe it's impossible in the workshop. You are going to, okay, secretly cooked, okay. All right, so this is the part that, our friends from, all the country, and especially the young people can join. Okay? So please take a look at the whole program again and choose which one would you like to join. We still have some time, some 10 minutes. If anyone would like to say something from there, please raise your hand. Or even, to do the additional point from our speaker here. Or even the question, please. มีไหมคะใครอยากจะพูดค่ะแม่สมปองโอเคแม่สมปองค่ะ
ค่ะจริงๆเขื่อนภูงอยนี่เราตอนนี้เรารณรงค์คัดค้านทำหนังสือเนาะทำเป็นโปรแกรม
fight against this dam construction. We try to draft a letter and we try to propose the 50,000 names to stop the dam construction. We will try to file the petition. Right now, we are trying to do every possible way to stop the dam construction, to do campaign against the dam construction. We talk about the food sovereignty. So we try to ask people to think whether we should build more dam to generate electricity, like what you have seen, that the Tonle Sap Lake is the natural resources that human cannot replace, but it is being destroyed. So how can we save our natural resource? How can we keep the Tonle Sap, the abundance of the Tonle Sap Lake, so that we can have food for us in the future? And if you see the cycle of the life in the Mekong River, they migrate from the Tonle Sap to the Mekong River, and they have been the food of people. They feed us from the perspective of the fisher. I like to say that I have never been to a university. I have learned about this by myself. I gained hands-on experience, and then I use it to work. I have learned from people in a lot of countries and work with my team. We need budget, like you said, but I haven't depended on a lot of budget. I have been working to fight against the dam construction for almost 34 years. I know that fishermen, they want to catfish, and then we ask the government to open the gates for us. So they are forced by the fishermen. That's the power that we use. And also because the government is trying to prevent the flooding in Ubon, so that's the reason why the dam gates are open this year or around this year. So people in Ubon, they have the strength to fight against the government. Now we are trying to collect 50,000 names to file the petition against the dam construction, Phungoi Dam construction. We might send the names to the Lao government or to the Cambodian government or to Chinese government, because these are the names of the people who don't want the Phungoi Dam, because it will block the migration route of the fish. If the Phungoi Dam is built, Ubon will be flooded for sure. and fish won't migrate to the rivers. So we should work together. We should collaborate. Thai, China, Laos. People should work together. We just destroy the borders. We put our efforts, and the MAEW project can maybe help us to do our work. I think now is the project that might help me to work with different people. Like in my network, I have around like 2,000 families working with me, and I hope that I can collect the 50 names to file the petition to against the construction of the Pumon Dam.
But this is for the petition, no? I think this is
คิดว่านะคะสิ่งที่คนในอุบลกำลังคาดหวัง
still stopped. This is what they believe. No, that's why they push very hard for the campaign. And I think I will have Mae Sompong words as a final words for our panel this morning. I think we spent all morning without going out for the break. No, I think you need to walk a little bit around before we have lunch together. So as it was announced by our MC already, the lunch will be in front of the creative space, which is just right in the building in front of the Student Christian Center. And let me announce, maybe I just announce quickly that this afternoon we will separate ourselves into 4 groups. The first group about the land and forest, also the special economic zone, going to discuss at the C Junction, the room on the 4th floor of the Bangkok Art and Cultural Center. Another 3 rooms will be here. The first room next door will talk about the carbon credit, the climate issue next door, and you see Winnie there as well with another 3 friends from different country, 4 friends. And Mekong and Tolesa will be discussed with Mae Sompong and also Sithirit in the big hall in front, the first building when you enter the Student Christian Center. It will be there. And the last one, it will be seeds, agriculture and farmers' rights. This panel will be discussed at the creative space, which used to be the coffee shop of this Student Christian Center, but now it's became our workshop place and also the lunch place. So the lunch, you can get the lunch from in front creative space and then go inside, sit inside or sit around to eat. So enjoy your break, and I'll see you at around 1 o'clock, 1 or 1:30 to 4 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you so much for all our friends here and panelists. Thank you for your contribution. All right. So let's split a little bit. Thank you. ขอบคุณมากค่ะ Thank you. It was a great talk. Yeah. Nice.